Welcome back to another episode here on Navigation Nowhere. If you've been a long-time follower around here, you know that we are building out this school bus Ivan right behind me. And we're currently at the part of the build where we just finished up building kitchen cabinets and putting up the bathroom walls. So it's actually the perfect opportunity for us to go look at the floor plan. So if you want to head on inside, we can go take a look at the SketchUp 3D rendering while also looking at what the bus currently looks like. Let's head on inside. Welcome to the inside of my school bus, and before we actually really get into the floor plan, what I want to talk about is just what we're going to be looking at. The design that we came up with here is specifically made for me. I like to always say that the shape makes the function. So essentially the way that we design this floor plan meets my lifestyle perfectly. So when you're going through this entire thing, I hope that you can look at it and derive, ideas or inspiration for your own project. But just know that we designed this specifically for my needs and my purposes, and that if you're building your own rig, not everything is probably going to fit your lifestyle, but hopefully you can learn something or get an idea. But the first thing I want to look at is actually going to be the dash area, because it's going to be the least touched. This whole area right here is going to be mostly left as is. I don't plan on painting it. I just plan on cleaning it up, leaving it pretty much as is. The only difference is that we're going to be redoing the seat. I want to change this seat fabric out. It's not exactly in the best condition. And then I took out the front cup holders that were originally on this vehicle, and I want to build out a cabinet in here and do some type of custom work, just because it's just a wasted space and there's nowhere to put anything while you're driving. So right above the driver's seat, we have this big flat wall, which is currently just a sheet of plywood. Right behind here, something that I didn't cut out yet is actually going to be about a 2-foot by 1-foot opening that will sit about 4 inches deep. So it'll be like a nice little inset shelf here. Not exactly sure what I'm going to end up putting there, but it is a big piece of real estate. So I want to, at least make that bump out. Maybe it just holds a piece of artwork. Maybe it's a deep shelf that has all my maps and things like that. I'm not sure. Something's going to be going here though. Moving on over this direction is actually where the kind of kitchen part starts all the way through the bus. This upper part above the driver's seat is actually going to become its own little cabinet with a puck light that will be inside, so that when the door opens this direction, the light will turn on automatically, and then there'll be some kind of good deep storage up here. I mean, it's probably going to be about a 2-foot by 2-foot cube, so definitely some good deep storage up in this area before we move right on back into the kitchen. So tying kind of perfectly into this upper cabinet that's going to be right up here above the driver's seat, I'm going to pull upper cabinets all the way through straight to this back wall. These upper cabinets are going to be pretty much the main storage for the kitchen, because what we're going to look at in just a second, most of the under cabinet is going to be like mechanical water tanks, things like that. So pretty much from this location all the way here, all the way down, it's going to be complete upper storage, wide open. Underneath of it, I've already have a bunch of 12-volt electrical pre-wired in for underneath the cabinets. So I'm going to be running kind of under cabinet lighting that will shine down on the countertop, so that we have kind of a nice, more, less harsh light, because I always find that sometimes you don't always want the puck lights on, because they're just supposed to be bright. They're supposed to light up the area. These types of lightings, LED strips, things like that are nice accents. So hopefully that's going to look really nice when this thing's all built in and finished. Starting with the lower cabinets, we have 3 cabinets already built that are right here. It's a 30-inch, and then a 1-foot cabinet. And we'll start with this back one right here and kind of explain what's going to be going in this cabinet and what it's going to look like. This cabinet is actually going to be mostly a water tank. I've got a 40-gallon water tank that's going to be going in the back of this cabinet. And then pretty much the first 4 to 6 inches are actually going to be storage space for the kitchen. The rest of it is going to be a false back. Water tank will be stored back there. One of the main reasons why I'm putting the water tank here is because the kitchen sink's going to go about right here in this cabinet. And then we have the shower, which we'll go into it a little later. Is going to be right here. And what that does is it keeps my entire water system within about a 2-foot radius. So that means less plumbing, less chance for things freezing and breaking, and it also just keeps it all real tight in one cabinet. And I don't got to worry about water pipes going all over the school bus or all over the rig, and worry about a big mess in the future. Moving into the second 30-inch cabinet, this one's going to have a bit more storage, but since the water tank inlets are going to actually be coming just into this cabinet, All the water pump, water system, accumulator, all of that kind of stuff is actually going to be stored in the back, along with a bit of electrical on the other side. We do have a second distribution panel for our 12-volt system. So there's going to be a lot of utilities in this exact location. The front half, I'm imagining, is going to be, you know, open storage, but once we get the sink in, the drain lines and all that, we'll have to see how much room is actually left in this cabinet specifically. But you know, that's all right. My favorite cabinet, which is probably the most simple, we can already see that there's a garbage can put in here, and that's because I actually want it to be a pull-out, just like a residential house. One big reason is because I just find that when living on the road, I previously lived in a green school bus Navy for about 3.5 years, and the things that I learned in that bus is you never have places to put garbage and you never have places to put your laundry. You don't think about it because you don't wear your laundry, but you have to put it somewhere, or you don't think about your garbage when you finish a bag because you have to put it somewhere. This is an awesome idea because for me, all my garbage stays right here. When I go to a gas station, I can take it and throw it out or something like that. But besides that, it stays nice and organized inside of a closed cabinet right here. Moving on to kind of this front section, which is not built yet, but you can see in the 3D rendering is a nice, awesome wood shelf with a wood stove. There'll be wood storage down here, a drawer right up here for any type of tools or things that I would need to get a fire started. And then that really awesome, beautiful fireplace right here that I've always wanted to put in a school bus, and I'm finally getting the opportunity to. Right up here, that's gonna head right on up to the ceiling. And that pretty much completes our entire kitchen section. And actually, Luke's gonna give a nice tour of the bathroom and show you what's going on back there.
Hey guys, so I'm Luke. I've known Mike for a couple years now. We traveled on the road for a little bit. I've lived in and built rigs for the past couple years. Mike and I had actually crossed paths somewhere in the country years ago and ended up building together. I've been helping around Ivan. You've probably seen me in some of the past videos. Helping do a lot of the 3D rendering for this bus. And as he'll mention later, it's something I can actually help you do with. So we'll transition here. One thing that Mike forgot to mention, as you can see from the rendering, we're doing a Norwegian, Scandinavian style, very modern, and something that's a big trend these days that we're trying to transition into the Buslife, just out of residential styles, is a concrete countertop. So with the rumbling and the movement on the road, you don't want to necessarily just pour concrete like you would, say, in a normal house. So they make this really cool, probably around 1/4 inch thick epoxy that actually is it's like a faux concrete. And it's going to look really nice. We're going to have a waterfall over into the fireplace, so you can see in the rendering. And it's going to be really great if we can pull it off. Transitioning, this here is a bathroom wall. On the back side here, we'll probably have some sort of knife storage, spice rack, who knows what. But on the other side of here, we'll have our shower head, spraying water towards the back of the bus. And the back there, we'll have our nature's head toilet, which will fill the space nice and give you a nice, pretty nice bathroom space for a bus. Excited to see how that comes together. We're talking about maybe a dark accent to the light wood in here. We're talking about maybe doing a dark tile to really tie the space together, somewhat like an accent wall you put in a house. As you can see from these lines here, it's a bit of the weird triangle, not your standard door shape. We're pretty excited about this. It fills the space really nice. It makes it a nice seamless transition into your bed space. And what we figured out kind of unintentionally was we could actually use this space as a pantry as well. It'll pivot on this point here, as you can see in the drawing. And the whole space, the whole door here from this space will pivot out, come flush with the countertop, and allow you access to the bathroom. What's cool is on this front face here, you'll actually have pantry access for miscellaneous food, condiments, whatever you need. Alright guys, so going into the bathroom, as I mentioned, we'll have our shower head over here. We have 12-volt puck lights up top to light it up pretty nice. We have our nature's head toilet. And this back window here, as you can see, we didn't block it out as we did these ones over here. These ones are blocked out for moisture. You don't want your walls to fill up with moisture in your bathroom. It'll just, over time, it'll eat away at the wood and everything, and it's just not what you want. This back window here, because we didn't want to kill off the natural light entirely, but we wanted to maintain privacy, we're going to put some sort of translucent film on there so that you can still get the natural light coming in, brightens up the space in a nice way, but you still have your privacy. What's also cool, this door that we mentioned earlier, as you can see in the drawing, is on the inside there'll be an indented shelf for your shampoo, whatever you need, toothbrush, toothpaste, all your hygiene needs. You can store that in here away in a nice watertight door and have your nice little private bathroom to separate this small space. Let's move on to the desk and check that out. Something cool about a lot of people live in these buses, they work remotely and on the road, so it's nice to have a dedicated workspace to increase workflow and whatnot. Starting from the top down, you can see these wiring. We're gonna run this into the wall. This will be our three-way, our light switch for the bathroom, our light switch for all kinds of stuff. We have our 120 over here, which is gonna run down for a laptop charger. That way you don't need a converter from your standard charger. You can just plug right in. Up here we'll have 15-inch deep cabinets, height-wise. Hopefully it'll match a nice line, continuing on from the kitchen cabinets. And working down this wall, you'll have two 2 or 3 12-inch cubes going down to about this height, and this here will be faced because the remainder of this space will actually fold out the door, and we're making some sort of tool chest / work table just to tuck tools away so we can still do projects on the road. Alright guys, so up here we're going to have our desk. It's going to be a nice shelved in space, plenty of storage for whatnot. What's nice about the desk is we're figuring out some sort of mechanism to extend the desk. Right now it's only about 12 inches deep, and when Mike's on the road working, he's going to want a bigger space. So what we decided to do is figure out a hinging mechanism where the desk will fold out and actually double in size. Opens up a lot more workspace, increases workflow, and for a bus, I consider that a very nice workspace. So excited to see how Mike uses that down the road.
So now that we've seen the bathroom and office area that Luke just explained, what I'm going to do is now take you through the kind of AC unit going up here and then the entire bed couch situation going on in the back. Up here, there's going to be this top wall section. You can currently see some copper piping coming down. This is actually going to be where the interior unit to our mini split's going to go. It's going to be mounted right in this location up here, and then it will have kind of the full ability to blow forward into the actual full rig. My mini split is only going to be running AC. I won't be using that for heat. That's a common question I get, so might as well just answer it right now. But below the actual AC unit is going to be where I'm going to be building a couch bed. So as we already mentioned, there's going to be an office over on this side, but over here there's going to be a couch which will be able to match for your seat while you're actually working at the office, or should I say I'm going to be working at the office. But then at nighttime, this couch is then going to fold out into a bed, which is going to be about 42 inches wide. Takes up this entire spacing right here, right up against the actual office. So it's kind of like a daytime and nighttime setup. I'm not going to have a permanent bed in this bus, mostly because I just haven't found while living on the road that I really wanted a permanent bed, because during the day it's kind of useless to me. I'd rather have the couch. So I really like the flip and fold models. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is a zipper couch style, where it's actually going to pull out and match to this face and then tuck completely away. Inside of this couch, it's actually going to be a bunch of storage. Most of it's actually going to end up being the solar system. You can kind of already see that I have all the wirings and solar wires already run to this location. So once the couch is actually built, these wires are already going to be there, and then it's just pretty much a plug and play solar system at that point that will be put inside this entire box. So above the actual couch area, I did wire in some previous 12-volt wiring for lighting and things like that, so that when you're sitting in bed, you have lighting pointing down at you. Then once again, like I said before, you don't have to end up using the puck lights all the time, just so that you don't have that full harsh lighting. I can just have the bedroom on, or I can just have the kitchen on with the under cabinet lighting. So we'll have these right on up here. But that pretty much, brings together the whole bathroom, office, back section. And moving forward, I'm going to let Luke take it away and explain the dinette and where the fridge is going to go.
All right, so next up we have our remaining space, which really isn't much. It's about 5 or 6 feet left of space in the front here right after you walk in. This space here, what we're going to do, because we didn't want to take up all of our kitchen space, we're going to go ahead and throw a 12-volt fridge in here. It also opens up some counter space. We'll have it level 36 inches with our kitchen over here. Open up some counter space. Extra counter space never hurts, whether it turns into simple lamp or could even use it for cooking if you want. So we just wanted to fill up that space, incorporate a fridge, and we decided the 12-volt fridge is best for the space that we have. Moving forward, we're left with about 4 feet here, and we realized we didn't really have a dining area. We talked about doing a dinette, but the downside to a dinette is to make it functional and comfortable, really. You have to bump it out pretty far where it feels like it makes you claustrophobic in the walkway. So the idea that we came up with is there's going to be a full-size table covering this entire space, about 24 inches by 4 feet, and it'll actually be broken right down the middle and can actually fold out into both of these walls, and that actually gives you a couple different orientations. Say you put this front one up and the second one, this back one here, down. You can actually turn this chair in place and sit 2 people actually facing each other to have a nice conversation while you're eating, and it opens up the space really nice. You could actually fold them both down, put both chairs over here, and enjoy a nice night by the fire. So it's a really good way we figured out to fill up the space. It's collapsible. If you ever even want to store something in here, you could probably even fit a bike in here if you ever needed to. It opens up the space real nice, and that's an important thing of these builds is you need to be able to fill a space in ways that's very convertible, like Mike was saying about the zipper couch. It allows it to be converted into different storage methods, because you never know what's going to come on the road. You never know what you're going to need the space for, so might as well leave it open as an option.
All right, so that was pretty much the interior floor plan of this school bus and what we're gonna be building in future episodes. I hope that something you saw in this video was helpful for your project and that maybe you can draw some ideas from what we're doing in our own. If you're interested in getting your own bus 3D rendered and going through some design concepts, Luke, who actually drew up my entire floor plan and you've been actually seeing on the build series for the last few months, actually does consulting and design work for people. So if you're interested, I put all of his information in the description below. So if you wanna get your own 3D rendering done or just talk to someone about floor plans and consulting, you can send him an email. But either way, I hope this video was helpful and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.